Give me 2 seconds, guys, to get my dev environment into a state that I can demo. Just give me 2 minutes.
Meanwhile, guys, please take a look at the commands module refactoring thread. We with Benedek have a couple of important questions, and we can only go forward if we can decide on them. And these are design decisions. So please, Bertrand and Sebastian and others go ahead and please give us any feedback, especially about anonym owner part.
Okay, guys, I think I'm there. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Not yet. Oh, it's loaded, okay.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. So that's the error that everyone's getting, I'm assuming, from the web client. Yeah. All the Europeans. Okay, so I've done some work around portlets. If you guys probably follow me on Twitter, you probably have seen it, so I'll just quickly show you. So this is the portlet screen. Everyone can see. Everyone can see, yeah? Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is the portlet screen that allows you to basically drive your UI. I haven't implemented these things here yet, but the idea is that what you can do is enable your zone, drag this onto a. Oh, that's kind of cool. It kind of does drag in. Drag it into a zone, and what will happen is that a pop-up will appear, a modal will appear with the editor fields in, and you fill it in, and then your widget just appears. But yeah, I haven't got this part. I've only got the drag part, not the part implemented. And the other thing I was thinking about is the ability to create new content without going to the admin screens. So being able to say, I want to add a new page. It doesn't work at the moment, but I want to add a new page, and that will pop up in a modal. You type in the necessary fields, and you've created a new page, and it will go to that page. So you can build up your website just through this toolkit, tool belt here.
So it's amazing. Is it a new menu name that you added, or how do you manage that list here?
How do I manage this list?
Yeah.
So this list is a list of all the content that has an auto route path associated to it. Now the reason why I placed that that constraint on it is that I thought that you would only want to create content from this screen that would go to a particular page or a particular route in that case. So if you had a blog, you would want to create a new blog or a new blog post.
Yeah, or when we have a widget page type, like we discussed several times, that would be the right way to edit it, probably, I suppose. So what happens when you click on one of the little tool icons?
These?
That look like delete icons, by the way.
These don't. No, look, it's a toolbar and a wrench.
Yeah, I know. It looks like a delete icon.
Oh, right. Well,
It does.
I'm still wondering whether there's any need for these anymore.
You know there is a standard icon for settings, and it's a gear.
Is it? Okay, cool. I can use that. I actually originally looked for a gear, but I couldn't really find one that I liked, so I settled on that. But
Nick, look at the one we're using on the advanced menu.
Okay, I can take a look.
Bootstrap.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, I can take a look. This is in Firefox. Let me just dump this in Chrome quickly. Yeah, so there's nothing amazing really going on here. Let me log in because I don't know why this is showing when I'm not logged in. But let me just jump back, and obviously, you know, we've still got the drag and drop malarkey going on, so you know that still all works and whatever. So I mean that's kind of where it is at the moment. I've got some feedback from Sebastian, which was good. So I spoke to him, and he gave me some cool stuff. And I know that Bertrand mentions that this needs to disappear so that you can have react. What do you call it? So Bertrand? Yeah, exactly. Reactive layouts. So I just need to have a look at that as well, and obviously get the other things working. But as per SAB.
So that tool belt on the left,
Yeah.
How is it pluggable? Can you add your own stuff into that?
You will be able to. What I want is that this here, each section is, you can go and create your own section, kind of like how you can create your own admin menu. So what you'll have is like a tool belt menu.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to do the same thing.
I'm also wondering about shape tracing and if those should be two different UIs, or if we should unify that with shape tracing so that we have one pluggable front-end set of tools, you know?
I thought about that, and what came to mind is that if you go to Tumblr, for example, Tumblr has a very interactive UI with the toolbar thing on the left-hand side, but you can still launch up Firebug. And Firebug and what Orchard has is kind of the same principle. You know, you can still launch up Firebug, but Orchard has a built-in version of Firebug. But I did actually think about that, and I'm not sure how I could technically unify that, or if I wanted to move this stuff down into the bottom. I don't know how that would work.
So let's start a thread, you, me, and Sebastian, and find a solution for that for next week.
Sure.
I mean, I love what you've done here. I think at least the left part of the UI is pleasing to the eye. It's nice.
I metroed it.
But I'm really bothered by having two different similar front-end editing experiences in shape tracing and that.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that.
Okay, so let's start a thread.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's my demo.
Thanks.
No problem, guys.
So
does anyone else have any feedback?
Audio?
Pardon?
Sebastian still has no audio.
Oh.
No.
One thing is that the import-export module that I demoed a couple weeks ago. It's broken in the latest version of Orchard. There's a token thingy-majig that looks for a web request, so if you run it in the Orchard exe file, it will bomb.
Nick, I replied to your question.
You know I do. That wanted to schedule time. Type feature as well. I said, yep, absolutely. I'm by no means a UX specialist, hence why I ask you guys.
Do we have any other demos today? Last weekend I checked in a few improvements to the media section. Not very important, I'm just mentioning it in passing. Now you have thumbnails in there. I closed a few bugs around being able to use the media picker for PDFs and stuff like that. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, check it out. It's in 1x. Any announcements? What about Harvest? Ilan, do you want to talk about that?
The list is growing. We have over 20 people. There's probably another 10 people that we know that are planning on coming that have yet to register. So we definitely know we're going to be around 30 people minimum. It's shaping up to be a good first conference, and we have a nice group of people coming from abroad, so it's not just you know, a bunch of local people getting together as an extended meetup group. So it's a very good first annual global summit. So we're excited about it. So Nick, I know you're based in New York, is that correct? I did a quick LinkedIn lookup on you. Cool. So it's in Santa Monica the weekend of the 8th and the 9th. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a stalker. I'm just trying to, I'm stalking the community. Thank you, Zoltan. And you can, the website has everything on it that you need, including special rates for hotels. Those special rates for the hotels are only as good through the 24th of August. And if you are interested in attending and you would like to share a room with someone, you know, feel free to reach out to us, and we will try and help you find someone that you could share a room with. So that would help out on the costs as well.
Okay.
And Nick, just so you know, the event cost is only $100 for both days. Includes breakfast and, you know, an afternoon snack, that kind of stuff.
Okay, and there is a rebellion brewing in London, apparently. A few people have expressed interest in meeting in London for something maybe similar. It might also end up in the creation of a London user group. Actually, that I would love that, to have something stable where people meet every other week or something like that, and chat about our child. That would be awesome. And I think you guys in London have enough people to create something like that, so you should go for it.
Where did they come from?
Well, you know, I think this.
Lots of people are actually silent and use the platform and just don't say anything. But if you tell them, yeah, we're interested in meeting, we're in London, and oh, yeah, well, yeah, sure. And they show up, so, yeah. You know, you never know until you try it.
Well, I think, frankly, that this Harvest idea has started a lot of conversations. We saw a lot of responses, and people being more vocal and certainly stating that they would love to see this again, and it's a little difficult for them to come from Europe, for example, but they would love to see something else at another time. So it's really fostered a lot of interest in getting people together. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. So the idea was definitely not to do a one-shot thing. This is for good. We're going to do this every year. So who knows where it will happen next time? We don't know. We haven't decided anything about that yet. Why not in Europe? I don't know. We'll see. There were questions about recording the sessions as well.
We're still working that out.
Yeah, we still don't know.
But if we do record them, we did decide, and Bertrand had sent out the information that they would be posted online for free.
Yeah, if we record, it will be for free. But we don't want to do it unless we can be sure that we have good quality videos that are edited and a good quality of value. If it doesn't have any value, I don't see the point. There will be material, I mean, source code, slides available no matter what. We know that some people would very much like to come but just can't. So yeah, we will do our best to make everyone benefit from this. But we also want everyone who can come to come and meet with us in person. That's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be a social event. So if you can come, please try to go to the site and register. Is that it about Harvard? Do we have any other news questions? No. Sebastian still can't talk. That's inconvenient. Okay, so maybe there is one question that Sebastian can answer in. Can he even hear us?
No.
No, he's not even on IM.
Not even on IM? So why are we seeing him?
He'd probably just kick him off. Let's evict him.
He's a ghost.
I'll remove him.
Okay, he's gone. Okay, so the question I had for him was, I wanted us to decide today when 1.6 comes out. So I guess I have to ask him offline what he thinks about that, and we'll report to the group. And I suppose it mostly depends on him, so it's probably okay if we make a decision just the two of us and report to the group. But my understanding is that we could do it very soon because 1.6 is about upgrading dependencies, MVC and Hibernate, jQuery also. So this should be pretty much ready.
Yeah, and bug fixes though.
What?
There's a bunch of bug fixes as well. If I'm
okay, so let's say tentatively that let's imagine that we are launching it next week.
okay.
If we want to achieve that, we need everyone on this call to download the latest 1.x and give it a try and report bugs as you find them, so that we can fix them this week. Let's just say this tentatively. I don't know if this is when we're going to launch, but let's assume. And I had another thing that I wanted to submit to Sebastian for review and to have his input on that, but I also do that offline. But first, I'll submit it to the people who are here today. A lot of people would like to be able to structure the edit view of the content items. Today, you have your list of parts and fields, of part and field editors that are being rendered in the content item editor as defined by placements. So this gives you a lot of control over what goes into the part editors and the order in which they appear. Right? But if you want, for example, to group parts into a field set along lines that are different from what the parts are defining, that is a legitimate scenario, because even though the parts are supposed to be self-contained and not depend on other parts to work, the users themselves may have scenarios where the parts work together to form a consistent entity that is above the notion of a part, that makes sense at the application level for that particular user. And that's a legitimate scenario. It doesn't contradict the fact that parts are supposed to be self-contained. Anyway, what I thought we could do to address that scenario is to have the notion of a group and or tabs. And the idea would be that for each part and each field, we would add a setting, or two settings to be determined, for groups and or tabs. The group would have a name, for example, and both on the back end and on the front end, we could use that group to create field sets or organize things in a better way. And we could even imagine that this group gets rendered as a shape, and this shape then will render the shapes that are under it. And if it's a shape, it means you can potentially use placement on it, and we can do all kinds of nice things. And so that's the idea. And today, if you wanted to do something like that, it would be very hard to do because, for example, if you wanted to put a field set around a group of parts, you will have basically to override the content item template and statically define what shapes you want in there, which is exactly what we don't want to do in our chart. It's not very orchardy at all. So, yeah, that's it. That's that's the proposal to give a way to structure contents along lines that are not necessarily parts. And a variation of that idea that I mentioned in passing is to have tabs. And I'm thinking maybe there are two different additional settings. And tabs would be similar, except that instead of creating field set, it would actually dispatch the shapes along dynamic tabs. And the way I was seeing that is that we could have an API that is provider-based, like everything, so that we could actually have code that contributes tabs completely dynamically from code. But we would also surface an implementation of that that would expose a setting for the parts and field. Any comments about that?
So okay, so let me see if I can understand this, because I thought one of the easiest ways to do it would maybe to add something like and you probably already said this, right? To add a group setting to
Yes.
to placement, be able to specify a group name from your placement info file, for example, and maybe even to surface that setting through the UI when you go and create your add your part to when you add your part to an item. So that would then group those up. That's what you're talking about, and then maybe being able to dynamically create tabs.
I hadn't thought about placement, but that's an interesting suggestion.
I put a little snippet into the chat window. It was 2047. I put it in. That's kind of what I thought that you might have been talking about. Group equals blah, for example.
Okay.
As an attribute.
Okay.
I actually got the format of the placement info stuff wrong.
I know where this fails.
Yeah, so do I.
How do you place the group then?
Yeah, absolutely. Or maybe okay. So maybe what if you did something along the lines of this? Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Let me just write it out for you. This would actually make more sense if you did something like this. Hold on. Handcrafting XML. Something like that. And then what you could do is you could specify multiple parts in there. And those parts would then be, I don't know, I'm just
Hold on.
throwing
Well,
something.
the thing is, okay, if you're going to group, if you're going to put a shape into a group, you want to place the group, and you want to place the shape inside of that group. Okay.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah.
Contents actually is meaningless here.
Ah, so you mean
You would
something
have
along.
group, so the group would have a name and a placement, because you want to place a group, and the shape itself should specify its placements within the group.
Okay, I see.
So yeah, we need to come up with maybe something more like that.
I don't know. It's only it's only just a quick. If that's what I think you mean, a group has a name, it goes on placement, and then you.
Yeah, but then how do you do matches and groups together? We need to find something that works. But
no, okay. I was just trying to understand I was just trying to understand the concept of it. That's cool.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one of the things I wanted to discuss with Sebastian. What am I forgetting? What else did we have? So I guess we won't do triage today. I don't know. We talked about harvest. We talked about 1.6. Yeah, that's what I had.
You want to talk about something
Okay.
Good point. I mentioned the switch to MVC4. The project is also now migrated to the VS 2012 project format, knowing that this format is backward compatible. You can continue to use VS10. That's what you have. But the project should just open right away in VS12 now, VS11. VS11 or VS 2012? What are they calling it nowadays? I don't know. I think it's
2012.
It's 2012?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
So it's already been, the project files have been updated and checked in already?
It should. That's what Sebastian told me this morning. So.
Okay.
That's it. If anybody has something else to say or ask, or now is the moment. Otherwise, we'll just wrap up for today, and we'll see you next week.
Just had a little something to say about that piece of placement info XML that Nick put there. The way I see it, that it could also be another implementation of that tabbed extensible editor provider model. You mentioned one default implementation that would generate provided tabs, and maybe another implementation of that could parse or leverage the placement feature.
Yeah, and actually, you know how we have placement. You have a placement editor now in the admin, and this is for custom forms mainly.
Mm-hmm.
This editor should take this group concept into account, I think.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
As it's doing drag and drop, it would probably be not easy, but not too hard to add that into the mix. So, yeah. Well, that's not for 1.6 in any case. I mean, 1.6 is not about new features, so that's for 1.7.
Sure.
I just wanted to point out to everyone that we actually have a member who joined us today from Nairobi, Kenya. So
yeah, welcome.
That is pretty cool.
Yep.
Maybe the Olympics encourage him not to be afraid of Nick anymore.
Hey, actually, Rupert's asking a really important question. Bertrand, could you address it? I mean, there's a couple new people that have joined us today, and they don't necessarily know the structure of these meetings and what typically happens. So to encourage them to come back, maybe you want to let us know what generally happens.
Yeah, sure. So we're having these meetings every week. The idea is to be as inclusive as possible. We raise issues about the current developments in our chart, so you get a chance to chime in on that and give ideas. Sometimes we vote on stuff, but that's not very often. We usually can make decisions without having to come to this. We're trying to be really inclusive, so if you want to show up every week, we try to have demos. If you have something to demo, if you made something cool with our chart, if you want to show your the new site that you developed and that looks cool, please do. This is a great way to get in touch with other our chart users. Yeah, that's it. So it's a kind of free form. chaotic, which I think is a great way to do this. So, yep.
And ideally, we're going to have this link client issue sorted out by next week. Maybe go back to 2010 rather than the latest.
Yeah, it's never been that hard. I mean, this week is really weird.
Well, it's been hard for the last 3 weeks, unfortunately, for various
really?
people. Yeah.
Okay, that sucks. We need to fix that. Yeah, I don't know if we need to stick to Link or switch to Google Meetings or, I don't know, Skype or something, but I don't mind. I mean, we need something that works. So what do people think? Do people have a preference about going to chat and type in the software you prefer for multiple user conferences? Let's have an informal poll here.
I think it's the link server that may be the issue.
Okay, so what I see here is that most people who express a preference here would like Link to work. So we'll make it work. Okay.
Clay, you have a preference?
I was going to say Skype, but I'm okay with Link too. I don't care.
Skype won't work.
Well, when it works, it's nice.
Exactly, that's my point. We can make it work. When it works, it's good. So, you know, it's just
Google Hangout. I don't. You know, Google Hangout sounds kind of cool as well.
What?
Google Hangouts.
Google Hangout sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that one.
What I really like about Link more than all the others is that when you do screen sharing, you can easily let somebody else give control. So in those scenarios, it can be very helpful.
Yeah. What I like about Google is that you don't need to have a server installed somewhere.
Yeah.
With Link, we depend on either Microsoft or OneStop providing a Link server, which hasn't been a problem so far, but
yeah.
Okay, well, point taken. We know that people want Link to work, so we'll make it work. All right. If we don't have anything else, let's stop here. And thanks for attending, despite all the technical problems. And we'll talk to you next week. And have fun. Bye.
Okay. Cheers.
Goodbye, everyone.